fertility on our farm, it starts in the fall. We'll go in, we have our own soil sampling unit. We'll go through and we like to take samples on 5 acres zones based mainly on soil types, but other factors go into creating those zones. We worked with the same agronomist for years, so he's helped us develop that program over time. We go in, take soil samples, we know what we have, then we'll come back with a piece of equipment like this, is a terrigator, and we'll spread products like to get our phosphates and our potassium on the field with products like DAP and potash. And we'll use variable rate maps, so we're only applying that fertilizer where we need it. One, it's wasteful to have more than you need, but it's also real expensive to have commercial fertilizer. So we're doing that in an effort to save money as well as be more environmentally resourceful. We'll then come in and also we can use this same machine for a lime application. Those things are all best done in the fall. You can do them other times of the year, but it seems like in the fall it gives everything a chance to set up, and your conditions are normally dry where you can get in the fields without a lot of compaction issues and worries. The weather's a little more cooperative. Ideally you would plant, you would have a pretty quick turnaround on soil sampling and then fertilizing and then get a cover crop in behind that. And that doesn't always work out, but it's nice when it does. So we would normally spread those on bean stubble going into corn or on corn stalks. It doesn't matter as much. It's sort of more need-based than anything. So that would get our phosphorus and potassium levels where we want them to be. We will put on some phosphorus with the planter. We used to put a lot more on with the planter. We used a dry fertilizer mix. But just for timeliness and availability, we went to a liquid fertilizer. It's hard to keep liquid K in suspension, so we don't really mess with it that much. So we go way back with our corn planter. Soybeans really don't get any other follow-up fertilizer. Maybe an experimental foliar feed or something like that. But we don't fertilize soybeans then again throughout the year. Corn, on the other hand, it takes a lot of fertilizer to keep it going. So we'll add a mixture of, with the corn planter, we'll put on 28% nitrogen, about 10 gallons an acre, and a 1034O solution or pop-up, 3 to 4 gallons an acre. We'll mix in a quart of zinc with that too, and that's really been a nice mix to help get things out of the ground and going. We'll come back and then side dress anywhere from 40 to 60 gallons of 28% nitrogen. There's a lot of reasons why we do that. One, it seems to be the best time of year is if you can kind of spoon feed that crop along, rather than a lot of people will fall apply anhydrous or pre-plant anhydrous, which it can have its benefits, but you also risk losing a lot of that based on weather conditions. So if you put the nitrogen there when it needs it, when the crop needs it, you're going to have a better chance that it doesn't lose it. We also like using the 28 because it's a lot safer. Not only from the human perspective of not having the goggles and the eye burn and the things that go along with ammonia, so pretty harsh chemical. There's also the effects underground of what ammonia does to our earthworm populations and our biotics. So we think the 28's a little bit friendlier, and we like to put that all in with a blade and a knife so it all gets under the surface, so we lose less to evaporation and runoff. Those fertility recommendations have kind of come through from our independent agronomist. Feel it's important to have someone that's not selling you a product tell you what products to use. So we've always had an independent agronomist to help us make those decisions, helps us calibrate our spread maps and things like that. But nitrogen use is a big one for us. It's a big cost, and we use a lot of it because we grow a lot of corn. So that's best. We feel, over the years, we have narrowed that rate down to where we're using about 175 units now. University recommendation would be closer to 1.2 units per bushel, which puts a lot of guys into putting 250 to 300 units of nitrogen on. I just think that that's too much, and our on-farm experiments have shown that it is. It's really important to do on-farm data collection. Yield monitor is great, they make pretty maps, but if that's all you're going to use it for, then you just spend a lot of money for not much goal. You need to be able to analyze that data and see, and run trials and see, what happens when I cut back my phosphorus, what happens when I cut back my nitrogen. Does the crop suffer? The grail for us will be if we can figure out how to use cover crops to grow a lot of our own fertilizer needs and incentivize the soil through healthy soil biology to really be able to peel that commercial fertilizer use back to nothing.